Hi, Rahela. Welcome to 11 Questions.
Hi, thank you for having me.
What's a perfect day for you?
A perfect day for me is when I guess my children are calm and I have two young kids, and they're always screaming and shouting and whining. So that would be a perfect day. Just some quiet, peace and quiet.
And are you a tea person or a coffee person?
Oh, coffee. I can't survive without coffee. I have probably like 3 cups of coffee a day.
And if you could have a cup of coffee with any person, living or dead, who would you choose?
Hmm. I think I'd choose Spike Lee. He's my favorite filmmaker. He's my favorite
Mhm.
scriptwriter, and I just love him.
And did you always want to write a book?
Actually, yes and no. My passion was always to write for film. I've always wanted to be a scriptwriter, but I've always enjoyed just writing. And I love to write books. I didn't think I'd ever become an author, though. I thought I'd be a scriptwriter first.
So, how did you come up with the idea for your book?
It has to do just with a lot based off of my experiences and the experiences of the Afghan community. Although it is fictional, most of it is based off of just what I faced as an immigrant. I came to Canada at a very young age. My parents are trying their best to hold on to their customs and values. And so a lot of that kind of influenced me growing up, and that's where the idea came from.
And when you were writing this book, did you follow a routine?
I actually wrote Monster Child during my PhD. I took a course with my supervisor. I just wrote a chapter, and then he wanted me to work on it and keep building it. And then the next thing you know it, I wrote an entire manuscript for him. This was probably, I would say, 4 or 5 years ago. I've just been working on it and revising it. Like, I've probably written so many revisions of Monster Child, and I just write whenever I can. It's so hard because I was a full-time student and I was also pregnant, and now I have 2 children. So I write whenever I can. I really don't usually have a routine. I write when my children are napping, but it's getting trickier because they're getting older. Or I'll wake up really early in the morning, just whenever I have a chance. I wouldn't say that I write every day. I just write whenever I have the time and whenever I'm motivated.
What do you find most challenging in this whole process?
When I first wrote Monster Child and when I was sending it out, I was sending it out to many agents and publishers, and I was getting a lot of rejection. And then Donald Trump had the whole Muslim ban. And then all of a sudden, there was this call out for Muslim voices. There was this interest for our voices. And so that's when I had the opportunity. And suddenly, I remember when I submitted my manuscript to publishers and agents, so many wanted to look at it. All of a sudden, it was not until that did I find that I had the opportunity to present my work. It was very challenging before that, very challenging.
Is there something new that you're working on right now?
Yes, I'm in the process, hopefully, of turning Monster Child into a trilogy. So I've completed the second book. I'm kind of thinking about the third book right now, but I haven't set to write it. And I also have a fantasy manuscript that I wrote 2 years ago, and that's just kind of still like on hold, waiting. And I just have a bunch of other ideas, and I don't really know what I want to do with it. I want to focus on the Monster Child trilogy and hopefully my fantasy manuscript.
Outside of writing, what else do you like to do?
I'm a teacher. I love teaching. I love being around children. I actually got my teaching degree as a high school English teacher, but I chose to work with children instead because I love kids. Kids are just amazing. I like spending time with kids more than I like to spend time with adults. And I don't usually do much. I'm busy with my 2 kids. We'll go out as a family and just visit my family. I'm hoping that I have more time to start reading because I haven't been able to read for pleasure in a very long time.
If you were to be deserted on an island with 3 books, which books would you take with you?
In our house, we really love Robert Munch, and we really love Dr. Seuss. I know they're children's books, but the ones that I really like is I Love You Forever by Robert Munch. I'd take that with me. I'd take, I think it's called Come Over My House by Dr. Seuss. And I would take my favorite favorite novel, Seraph on the Solani by Zora Neale Hurston. I just love that novel.
If you were to pick one interesting life experience to share, what would you tell us today?
Motherhood. Motherhood has been quite the experience.